Good evening and happy Thanksgiving to those of you who celebrated it. I hope you all had some nice times with family. I kind of had a quiet day in due to COVID concerns. So just a reminder to do stay safe and keep that in mind because it's happening and it's just getting worse. so, um, anyways, today's Unisana's tribute is, I believe, for the video, yes, Two Truths and One Lie, Waxing Edition. And this was the one, and also while I'm talking about this, I just cracked these bad boys open, Sour Patch Tropical, and I'm gonna snack on them because I know Markiplier has history with our Sour Patchy boys, with Mr. Patch. And I was like snacking on them earlier today, and I was like, oh, this might be interesting to put in the video. So they have four different flavors. I see passion fruit, tropical twist, pineapple and paradise punch. And I tried them all, but I'm going to talk about them as well on here. I just picked a pink one, I think. Orange that's the thing, too, is like the pink and the orange are kind of close. So I don't really like the paradise punch pink one as much as I would think I would. But anyways, it's good. It's just like it's coconutty, which is like not what I expect from Sour Patch. So, I was thinking about this video though. Two Truths, One Lie Waxing Edition. I don't know what app it is that they use to put the different parts that they were going to wax if they guessed incorrectly on the Two Truths and One Lie. But yeah, I think they just like put in every possible like body part that was kind of like waxable, like nose or chest, or I don't know if they did like beard or neck or whatever. It wasn't Ethan afraid he was gonna like rip out Mark's jugular or something with a waxing strip? And they both waxed each other's balls, allegedly. It's blurred out, so it makes you wonder. But totally understandable that two pretty famous YouTubers wouldn't want to put their balls on the internet. So, going for a pineapple one, this yellow. I am not always the biggest fan of pineapple, but when I was a kid, I used to love those pineapple vest sodas. I don't know if that's just a St. Louisian thing or how widespread that off-brand side brand is. Um. Anyway, that's pretty good though. I don't know why I was just like such a sweet tooth today. I've been having like such a sweet tooth the last like few days. Usually I'm like all about savory stuff, but I think what triggered it was I was actually eating some salt and vinegar chips, and I just like wanted to blast my taste buds. I guess me and Mark have that in common, just wanting to like singe our tongue off with acidity and shit. So, anyways, um, but this video, I think yeah they play the game Two Truths One Lie, which is like it's a fine game to learn more about people. I am the worst at thinking of things that are like true or not true about me, that you can categorize. Because so one thing I was thinking about when I was conceptualizing how I'm gonna think about this video, talk about this video, is the way that we perceive truths and lies and honesty and all that sort of thing. I feel is like there are some things that are pretty binary and black and white, but there's a lot that's also kind of like, I don't know, I kind of get lost in my own head about what is true about me, or what you can say is a verifiable fact about something that, I think like they, picked things like, oh, I had a gerbil named something or whatever, named Stripes. I can't remember, man. Like they had like the silliest thing. And that's the thing too, is like I'm bad at conjuring false information. So like I would be really bad at like saying things that are like believable but not true, I guess. But I was kind of thinking about the idea that we have about what is truth or what are lies. And also, I think that that kind of goes hand in hand with like the difference between like honesty versus just like facts. And so I was just kind of thinking about it. I don't know how to put it in words really, but I'm gonna spend the next 5 minutes or so kind of thinking about it, and kind of saying whatever is coming to mind. I'm gonna grab the next two. I'm gonna go for the orange. I feel like I like this one, tropical twist. Yeah, see, that's what I expect from like a tropical, like very citrusy, like orangey, mangoey goodness. Mm. And then the purple, I'm a sucker for purple anything. Passion fruit, I think, is an interesting choice of purple because everybody usually says it's grape, but it being tropical, obvi. I'm a fan. I don't know. Like I feel like grape candy gets a lot of hate. By the way, I just want to put that out there. Um, Grape candy's pretty good, but mm, that is so good though. Like holy crap! I got this box of candy at some candy shop in I think the Loop with my friend Quill a few months back. Um, Still very much during COVID times. Anything that I touched, I purchased because that's just like kind of how I roll um, with shopping these days if I can. I got these. I got some like runts and sprees and other little fruity novelty candies that I haven't had. I don't know why I was just like kind of craving them. Oh, actually, I got a really neat one. I'm gonna actually open that maybe two. It has like a little question mark block candy. I don't know if it was mints or what. Hard candies. Let's check it out. But yeah, sorry for the mess in my kitchen. This is kind of interesting because like sometimes the act of making these videos kind of helped me feel better. I was like really exhausted all day, and I actually took a nap, and I think I had some sleep paralysis problems, and I don't know if y'all ever deal with that. It's one of those things that like it's such a total mind fuck because like it's like you when you have that, I don't know, like again, like if it's a mental thing or what, but you have that sleep paralysis and you like think that you're awake. Like somebody called me and I thought I had woken up, or I felt like I woke up, or maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. Like maybe I was still dreaming, but like I couldn't even move my hands. I was very aware of like my breathing. I could feel like that my mouth was open. I was like not quite snoring, but like kind of doing that big sleepy breath, y'all. Um, but like I couldn't move, and like there was one time I think I was like actually recently I've been having a lot of sleep paralysis problems. I don't know if it's just stress or what, but like actually recently I had sleep paralysis so bad in my own bedroom, and I had sort of a hallucination or illusion, I don't know, of the mind or a dream, whatever it was, that somebody was sleeping and breathing heavily like at the foot of my bed, and it gave me such like a panic that like I like made myself like I think I shouted myself awake, and like it's just like such a strange thing. And like this, I getting a phone call, I figured who I kind of like had an idea of who it probably was, and I was like gonna stress about it. I was trying to still get up so I could like call them back or let them know like, hey, I'm sorry, I was taking a nap, but I didn't wake up till like 3 hours later. And it's just like such a strange feeling, and I kind of it sort of goes in with that truths and lies and stuff of like, is that something that like I imagined, or is my something about my brain and my body so knocked out that I like really can't move, or am I not even awake? um but side tangent, here's this small candy box I found at that candy shop. It was, let's see, so it says, does it say what kind? I think it just says coin candies. So I don't know, maybe I'll share that for another, or save that for another day. But it's just a nice little, I don't know. Look at me. I mean, like I'm always collecting novelty crap. So Anyways, so sleep paralysis and stuff aside, I kind of did want to talk a little more about these ideas that we have of what is true, or because I think there are some things that, can be true about us. Like, you can say things about your past or when you were a child. But also, like, there's that part of me is like, how much do we really remember? Like, I can remember some childhood pets, but do I remember all of their names? No. Like, because I had like beta fish or like, little frogs and amphibians and stuff. And I don't know, like, what do you like remember about things that are verifiably true about you? And like, I think there are some things that can be true about us at a point in time. And I think some people hold on to those things so intensely that they don't reevaluate themselves and have a sense of, like, I guess that goes and ties in with the idea of honesty versus facts. Like, they some people think like something's so true about themselves that they can't self-reflect and potentially think about, is that even true about me, or is that, do I need to reevaluate that? Like, I think some people, I'm trying to think of like a good example, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people that take some things that are expected of us from society and like hold that so closely and expect that of themselves, or of their life, that sometimes like we get a disconnect of like who we are and who we think we are. um I'm trying to think, like, I mean, like, for me, I guess, like a good example is, when I was a kid, I had like really, really good grades and like was kind of like a nerd or whatever. Like, maybe not like really, really good, but like not the best grades. I didn't have total straight A's all the time, but I had pretty good grades. And like, then in college, like, I wasn't so great about finishing my work, and I never failed a class, but at the same time, like, I definitely like had some iffy grades and tests and wasn't always keeping up with my work and wasn't practicing. And like, I think that there's like this sort of disconnect, and maybe that's just the American education system too. Like, anything could be to blame. But I think that sometimes like we have certain expectations, and like I think this happens, I guess, like with people that are like, former gifted child or whatever. But I think like that sort of thing, or I think that some people, for example, like think like, oh, I have to start a family, I have to be a mother or father, or, like kind of have these things that like they think are truths, or they hold as true, but they don't ever step back to think like, hang on, do I need to reevaluate myself? Because I needed to do that in college, because I was kind of like, oh, like I have all the time in the world and like I'm such a good student, of course I'm going to do fine. But I had to step back, and I had to, when I was when I like got like my first bad grade from a chemistry test or whatever, like I had to step back and be like, I'm not doing the work. I might understand the concepts okay, but I'm not doing great with the math or whatever, and like, you have to be able to be honest with yourself and to evaluate those things to reach a certain level of growth, I think. So that's kind of something I was thinking about while I was mulling over that title of Two Truths and One Lie, that fun little game we do. And maybe sometimes that we need to be playing that with ourselves a little bit, in a sort of way of evaluating what is truthful about us, what, is, what some things that maybe aren't as true as we'd like them to be, and like if there's some sort of, discrepancy of who we think we are and who we want to be. I mean, like, for example, myself, I like to think I'm a pretty, like, I definitely wasn't an athletic person as a younger child, and then I became more interested in athleticism and stuff. But at the same time, I constantly struggle with thinking about how much of an athlete I really am, or how good a shape I'm in, and how good of shape I want to be in. And right now, like, I'm probably having like one of the biggest struggles, like with COVID and everything. Like, I have not been as active as I think, like, myself, like how I perceive myself, like, should be. So it's something that, it's I think it's something we always have to work on as humans if we want to maintain and be the sort of person we want to be. So Anyways, I don't know if that made sense, but that's kind of like where my head's been at today. And I've been kind of sleepy in general, and that's always unpleasant. And like, I feel like I've been dealing with that a lot. And I don't think it's the video project. I think I'm just a very sleepy person. So sorry that every third video is like me just talking about how exhausted I am. Um, but I think it's just an exhausting time. And so, I mean, I think it's just honest of me to tell y'all that I'm tired, and I wouldn't be surprised if y'all are tired too. It's a tough year, and it's definitely not getting better with um, COVID concerns. Like it's just kind of like creeping in, and like people that are close to me are worried about they have it, and like my friends. I had a Friendsgiving today that somebody invited me to like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we just all decided to cancel it because two or three people were like, my mom has COVID, my roommate has COVID, like, and all this stuff. And then I didn't go to things because of other COVID concerns that of people that I personally know. So it's just like, it's so, you know, it's so real. And like, it's another thing of like, maybe we're fooling ourselves if we think it's going to be okay, or we think, it might happen to us, because I think that is something that a lot of people in America, anyways, are kind of having difficulty grappling with. Is they're like, oh, like, yeah, it's happening, but it really only affects people in nursing homes or whatever. And like, you don't know, like, if it could come to you. And it's really like just crazy, like how much it's spreading. And like, at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if like the majority of the population gets it. But like, I don't know, what are we gonna do about it? Is it something, whatever. I'm not gonna go on and talk about COVID for like minutes because I'm not an expert, but it's another thing that I think we need to, be honest with ourselves about as a society. So, but yeah. So I was just thinking about that. I'm gonna continue snacking on the Sour Patch. I'm gonna try to get some things done today. That's another thing too, is being honest with ourselves. Is how much are we doing? How much do we think we can do? How much are we letting it slide? How much are we just needing to give ourselves a little grace? I think that that's definitely a big thing. And but I'm feeling a little bit better, actually, kind of talking all that out. So, but yeah, I'll have to think about how I want to do next video. This one was a little longer than I meant for it to be. I meant to just kind of talk for like 5 minutes, and now here we are at 17, 18 minutes. But I try to keep these short, but oops. But anyways, I hope y'all had a nice, lovely holiday, or continue to have a nice holiday weekend. So do stay well, and I will see you guys in the next video.